Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Heretic Theater. I'm Grant.
And I'm Batman.
What's your real name?
That is my real name. Because I'm totally not Bruce Wayne.
And today we're watching Batman Begins. Christopher Nolan. It's his first Batman movie. Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors, so I am excited for this. I'm excited to watch even more of his movies other than just Batman in the future. Because a lot of his best movies are his solo films that aren't tied to any other franchise, his original pieces. Like The Prestige and Memento. Those are some of my favorites, honestly. So, yeah, Zach, what are your thoughts on Batman Begins, or just the Dark Knight Trilogy altogether?
I like the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy. This isn't my favorite of the three movies. I think you can guess which one's my favorite.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy this movie a lot, especially when it first came out. It has been a while since I watched Batman Begins from beginning to end, so I am curious to see how well it holds up. But I'm expecting a good time, so yeah. God don't let me down.
I'm actually really interested too, because last time I remember seeing it, as far as I can remember, I actually really like Batman Begins. I don't think it's as good as Dark Knight.
Well, nothing's as good as Dark Knight.
Right. But I do think that it's I think it's a lot better than some have given it credit for, though. It's much better than Dark Knight Rises. Way, way fucking better. Wow. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to Dark Knight Rises eventually, but now we're doing Batman Begins. So I'm gonna hit play, and you guys can watch along with us. I'm going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm going to turn that down a little bit so we don't get copyrighted.
Good idea. Can I just say I love Hans Zimmer's score for this trilogy?
Oh yeah, I think it's up there with John Williams in terms of awesome movie music.
Yeah, it's epic.
Dick Cock Comics.
That's kind of cool. How the bats do it.
How they form the bat symbol.
Yeah. I like that that's how these movies start. Instead of with the title, they start with the bat symbol.
Mm-hmm. Now, who plays young Bruce? Because I swear I've seen this kid before. In other stuff.
I actually don't know his name.
And roll credits. And that's the day Bruce Wayne became Well Man. Yeah, if I were 10 years old and I got attacked by a storm of bats, I'd be pissing my pants too. I had a nightmare. Something about the dude in tights. His mom's name was Martha. Is he in North Korea? You know, I completely forgot this sequence was in the movie. Even before he was Batman, Bruce Wayne kicked ass. Qui-Gon Jinn? That was my reaction when I first saw this movie, because when did this movie come out?
2005.
We were like 5, 6 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And like the only movie I've seen with that actor was like Star Wars. I know his name, but I can't think of it right now. Liam Neeson, thank you very much. Was Ra's al Ghul waiting in that cell for how long until Bruce ended up in it? Alright, Green, I have to ask you. Is it Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul?
In this, it's Ra's al Ghul.
No, I'm talking, like, what do you think it should be?
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul? You see, the comic book fans disagree with you. Or, no, not the comic book fans, the original Batman animated series, because in there he was Ra's. And to this day, people debate whether it should be Ra's or Ra's. I can go either way, but I kind of lean towards Raj because I just think it sounds cooler. I tried this asshole named Oliver Queen, but he was a pussy, so I'm going for you instead. That was kind of an awkward cut.
Yeah.
You what?
I mean, it is pretty convenient that he was just waiting in his cell.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that he, I mean, it is a little flimsy because it's like, why? I mean, he's looking for someone to train him to, learn how to fight.
To be Batman.
But how did he know to look here? I guess maybe he spent quite a long time on it. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that works. But yeah, I think this movie is pretty underrated.
It's definitely not quite your traditional superhero movie, that's for sure.
Especially for the time when it came out in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this movie changed comic book history.
Yeah, because, what movies were coming out before then?
Spider-Man 2 came out before this.
Blade, Daredevil.
Yeah, this was
a lot of...
This was a huge anomaly compared to, what was coming out.
Yeah, because even, darker superhero movies at the time were still very goofy in their premise. And there's still a little bit of goofiness, don't get me wrong. I mean, Bruce Wayne is training to be a ninja in North Korea.
Set. That's not CGI. That is a fucking set. And I can tell.
Is it an actual set, or is it a model they used? In Lord of the Rings style?
I think...
Where they shoot the model to scale, and then they edit the character in with a green screen.
I don't know. I think it might have been a set because
Okay.
I mean, just looking at this interior, that's not CG.
Don't you miss when movies weren't filled with CG nowadays?
Yeah, I miss that.
Even if it's considered good now, it's still you appreciate what came before when it seems to be forgotten from time. Now you may be thinking, what's the deal about carrying a flower? It's like, well, keep in mind, you had to carry that flower while climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how hard it would be even to hold on to the flower when you've long lost all feeling in your fingers?
Christian Bale's pretty short.
Yeah. You kind of forget how short actors actually are. Like Robert Downey Jr., for example. A lot of times when he's playing Tony Stark, you can tell he's wearing high heels. Or not high heels, but high steps.
Yeah.
Like platform shoes to make him look taller. Because he's a pretty short guy in real life.
Yeah.
But the camera is shot to make him look taller.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite trick on what they use for the hobbits in Lord of the Rings.
I mean, they kind of do the same thing with. I mean, they might have done the same thing with Christian Bale when he's like dressed up as Batman.
Oh yeah. They do it all the time. With movies. The main character has to appear, larger than life. Unless it's like a specific case, like Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be awkward if like Batman was like barely above 5 feet tall. Like it would lose a lot of the intimidation factor.
Yeah. It would.
In an alternate universe, Thomas Wayne is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the pearl necklace. That certainly won't be relevant to Batman's story down the line.
Remember when movies used to actually do world building?
Yeah. Remember when Star Wars used to do world building? I do. It's been 10 years, but I do.
They actually are putting effort into showing like the setting and actually what's going on.
What movie do you think has done like the best world building during its runtime?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually have a different answer.
Oh yeah.
I think Pacific Rim is the best movie I've seen with its world building.
Hard to disagree on that.
In terms of how much they're able to tell in how little amount of time. Because you say Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings is like a 9-hour movie. They have a lot of time to explain the world. But I appreciate...
Well, they do that mostly in the first one.
True, but there's plenty more of it in the second and third one. It's there.
Yeah.
Again, that's still 3 movies. But Pacific Rim told its story and told the story of its world in like 10 minutes. And I like how I was able to do that in such a short amount of time. Now the theater show that Bruce goes sees before his parents' death varies. I think originally they were seeing a play of Zorro, the masked Spanish hero. In the animated series, it was the Grey Ghost, which is like that Batman's version of like what the 1985 Adam West Batman would be. And I'm not sure what they were watching there. Pop quiz. Who is the name of the person that kills Batman's parents?
I don't know the name of the character, but I was going to say that actor, that looks like William H. Macy, kind of.
The name of the guy who kills Batman's parents is Joe Chill.
That's really cool that he would leave the kid alive.
Yeah, well, if you shot the kid, there would be no story.
No, I mean, he didn't kill him because obviously a kid doesn't pose a
Right.
threat.
And, most people don't actually want to kill children.
Yeah.
One thing that I do like throughout all three movies of how they're able to make Gotham look like such a shithole.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like one of the most rundown places in the DC universe.
Yeah.
And that's even in like Dark Knight Rises, they're consistent with that. And they do it really well. What's the name of the actor who plays Jim Gordon?
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Okay. Do you like him as James Gordon?
I love him as Gordon.
Yeah, he's my favorite person to do a role in a live-action film.
And I'm sorry, Michael Keaton lovers, but I think Christian Bale's the best Batman.
I haven't seen the original Batman by what's the name of the dude? He did Corpse's Bride.
Adam West.
No, the director of the original.
Tim Burton.
Yes, I have not seen Tim Burton's original Batman film at this point in time, so I'm not gonna comment on that. But from what I've seen, I will at least say Michael Keaton does do a better Batman voice than Christian Bale does. I don't hate Christian Bale's Batman voice as much as other people do, but on occasion it does get a little silly for me sometimes.
I really don't care. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I disagree.
You don't know you disagree?
No, I'm saying I disagree. I don't think Michael Keaton's voice is any better than Christian Bale's. Like, everyone complains and says, like, oh, it's too over the top. It sounds like he's gargling gravel. It's like, so does Michael Keaton's. Oh, I love this. This whole first training sequence when he talks about the will to act.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the best scenes. This is one of the best scenes in the whole trilogy.
Right. And as I was saying earlier, even though this movie does take a more serious and grounded tone compared to a lot of other superhero films, there's still a little bit of campiness to it. Like, for example, Bruce Wayne is being trained by ninjas in North Korea, so a little bit's there still. And, do I need to mention the Batmobile?
I actually like that because it's
I like it, but
because it makes sense. Like they say, it was a failed military project. And
yeah, I'm not. No, I like it too, but
really, they were meant to be tanks.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still the Batmobile with all the gadgets and stuff. I mean, you can't have a Batman movie without something like that.
I know, but I think they provided a good, well-written explanation for it.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's just kind of the thing with the superhero movies. Just by nature, they're going to have some silly aspects to them. And this movie does a really good job of handling those aspects in a believable sense.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Just drops him in the ice. So I gotta ask, Grant, as from Batman fan to Batman fan, do you think Batman is a good superhero?
What do you mean, a good superhero? What does that mean?
Well, a lot of discussion over the years, people have argued that Batman is a bad superhero because despite all the good that he's done, Gotham is nowhere near better off as it was when he started his crusade.
Interesting, because, I mean, that's kind of like an argument that's made in Marvel superheroes. More evil people have come around since they started their
superhero career.
Yeah, but that's not really a Batman thing. That's just an all superhero thing.
True, but but with Batman specifically, his whole deal is I must save Gotham from itself, But in a lot of stories, I guess this trilogy included, he doesn't really do that.
Oh, I think he does. Save Gotham from the criminals that are tearing it apart?
Yeah, I mean, he does that. Batman does help out from a grounded level, but he doesn't actually solve the problem of Gotham being a crime-infested shithole.
I think he does. I mean, I think Dark Knight Rises is bad, but I would say he does solve the problem.
How? Could you go into it?
He gets rid of all the criminals and all the crime families and everything. They're all gone by the end of the trilogy.
But a lot of them get out, one kind of running gags with later movies is how many times Scarecrow breaks out of Arkham and whatnot. He puts them away, but they end up coming out again.
Well, no, he never went in the first place. They even say at the end of this movie they didn't catch him? They didn't catch all of them. Okay. They didn't catch all of the inmates in Arkham that were freed. I mean, I think by the time Dark Knight Rises even begins, they were all put back in.
Okay. Well, what do you think of the discussion that Bruce Wayne could have been a better hero than Batman? Instead of investing all that money into, Bat-themed gadgets and shit. He actually invested it to like try to improve the welfare of the city, better schools, better hospitals, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, obviously that can be said about all superheroes.
Okay, right. But stop dodging the question. Batman specifically, what do you think? Because yes, that can be applied to a lot of superheroes, but like Batman specifically, what do you think about that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think...
You don't think better schools and better hospitals would have made for a better city?
Well, because then the criminals would just destroy them.
Keep going.
Keep going. Like you would... Yeah, like you'd invest all of the things into new schools, new hospitals, and everything, and then the criminals would just ruin them.
That's a good point.
They're not going to stop. But also, I don't think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to say that about Batman, you got to say that about literally every superhero that's ever existed.
True. Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, especially all the rich superheroes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go by that route, Dark Doom is arguably the best superhero in all of Marvel, because when he took control of his country, he like got rid of all of the crime.
Yeah.
Even though it was a dictatorship.
Now, the one that I will admit you can't really make that argument for is Spider-Man, because he's not rich.
Well, right, a lot of street-level superheroes. Spider-Man, Daredevil, Luke Cage, the ones that don't have money. The one that don't run their superhero crusade on $1 million corporations.
Yeah.
No, okay, now just to go ahead and give my piece on it. Yes, I do think Bruce Wayne would be a better to Gotham than Batman, but the reason Bruce Wayne is Batman is because of his trauma.
Right.
And that's why he's Batman.
Yeah, it's not...
That's why he does what he does and doesn't, just become a...
Yeah, the reasons for becoming Batman were much more personal. It wasn't because he had a good heart and just simply wanted to help the city. I mean, that's what he did as a result of traumatic experiences,
Yeah. No, I think a lot of those arguments have points, but for Batman specifically, the answer is, yeah, he could do that, but he doesn't because it's because of his psyche, Batman is who he is, He's just not that kind. That's just not the way he thinks. He is guided by his strange code and his obsession with vengeance. Well, I guess more justice than vengeance because he has the whole no-kill rule.
Yeah.
I do like how in this...
I like how... Yeah, it's not... His no-kill rule doesn't just come from the fact that his parents were killed. It's because he... tried to do this.
Yeah.
He actually thought about killing the guy in revenge, and he learned that that's not the right thing to do, and that's...
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Last of Us 2?
Oh, let's not start on that.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, I guess what's relevant at the time of this video. But no, one thing that I do like in this movie that Bruce is robbed of his vengeance, There's a lot of movies as become a superhero to get revenge on the person who killed their loved ones or whatever, and that's how they start their crusade. But in this movie, they're no, Joe Chill is cut down
by just some random person.
Yeah, Bruce doesn't even have a chance to get that satisfaction for himself.
Right.
And I think that's also a part of why he becomes what he becomes.
Yeah, because he learns that that's not the right way to go about things, and he learns the right thing to do is become a symbol that stops that from happening to other little kids like he was.
Right.
So, no, I think he's one of the better... I mean, I don't know about in terms of superheroes, because, it depends on what your definition of a superhero is, but... I think in terms of comic book characters, he's one of the better written characters, for sure. Also, I just have to say, I'm sorry, but Katie Holmes as Rachel in this is wildly miscast.
They change her actress for the second movie, don't they?
Yeah. And I really fuck all the Maggie Gyllenhaal haters. It's like she is a million times better as Rachel than Katie Holmes is.
I thought she did a good job in the second movie. I had no problems with it.
Yeah. And what they do with her actually means something.
Yeah.
Like, everyone talks about how there's no consequences in it, and that
no consequences for Rachel dying.
And that no one important dies in the story. I've literally heard people make that argument about The Dark Knight, and I'm just like, are you, like, do you even know how to analyze film? Like, seriously.
Nope. What? No consequence. Her death literally creates Two-Face.
Yeah.
I don't...
Anyone who... I've heard some people say they didn't like the Two-Face stuff. It's like, that's literally the best part of that movie, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even better than the Joker stuff. Seriously, go back. Really? I really wish those people would go back and watch it again. Because...
I do like how Falcone does teach Bruce a lesson.
Yeah.
And we get that context to the earlier scene of how he wants to turn fear against the criminals. Because Falcone right here talks about the power of fear.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are wondering, why are you talking more about the movie? We'll get there. We just gotta get to the Batman stuff. You know, the movie's still setting up a lot of things.
No, we're talking about the movie, sure.
Now, but I'm sure there's people like, why aren't you talking about every scene in the movie? It's like, well, there's not a whole lot to talk about in every scene, you know? This movie's good,
We can talk about other stuff, you know?
Yes, we are allowed to talk about other stuff. This is our show, goddammit!
I do like this, though, because it's not just setting up the whole thing of him wanting to turn fear against criminals, but it also sets up Ra's al Ghul's teachings about how he has to become fear.
Yeah, that's part of why he becomes Batman, because of his childhood fear of bats.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Bats! That's right. No, not bats. Bats! Have you seen that college humor skit of the Batman college humor skits at all?
I think...
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I don't quite remember it. I like... Oh yeah, this guy. He just gave him a ton of money for a jacket. I do like that they show context for how he went from being a kid to being this damaged person he is now, which is what caused him to leave Gotham to begin with. And actually go and find someone to teach him how to... Because he didn't know where that boat was going to end up. Nope. He just... Seeing it shows like he's not just looking for a way to fight. He's actually... He gave food to that kid.
Yeah. No, he wants to do better. He wants to protect the innocent.
And he just traveled around until he eventually got to Korea, or wherever this is.
I think it's supposed to be implied to be Korea.
Or maybe it's China, yeah.
Well, China's not that bad.
And see, I like this too. It shows like he knows, like he goes on those ships that were shipping stuff from Wayne Enterprises. So... This actually shows how he can get around, you know? If only The Dark Knight Rises would have shown that.
I still think Batman should not have escaped that nuclear blast.
See, This movie actually bothers to show you how he went from Gotham to here. But for some reason, Dark Knight Rises didn't.
Oh, yeah. Time to trip out, boys. Oh, so
this part's pretty satisfying.
that flower is the basis for the fear toxin, right?
Yeah.
Because Roz is the one that supplies it to Scarecrow in the movie.
Yeah, it is. And I think Ra's al Ghul is a really good villain.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's outshined by Heath Ledger's Joker and even Two-Face, but we'll talk about it once we get to it, but the villains in The Dark Knight Rises. Oof.
This movie was actually my introduction to Ra's/Ra's al Ghul. I was a bit too young at the time. I kind of missed most of the animated DC stuff that was out during like the 90s to the 2000s. So yeah, this is my introduction to that part of Batman's mythos.
Yeah. Also, just to clarify, Bane is a good villain because he's really intimidating, but he's like barely a character.
Did you adopt the Darkness Grant?
He's kind of like the Maul character of the Dark Knight Trilogy. No offense to all you Dark Knight Rises lovers out there.
At least it continues the trend of what's his name? The actor who plays Bane.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's streak of having great roles that with shake that covers his face.
Yeah. This is really fucking clever.
He cut one of the other ninjas to make it look like it was him, right?
He cut multiple of them
Okay.
because he wasn't sure which one he'd come by first and notice.
Okay. Also, I do like the plot twist that this guy's not Roz.
It's actually Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's character is Roz.
Yeah.
This guy's just there as the double.
Yeah.
The red herring.
And I like this. Like, this man's a killer. It's what he deserves. And he's like, why should he deserve mercy? And it's like, it's what separates us from them.
Right.
Because if we kill people like him, we're no better than him.
But this one scene explains the philosophical differences between Roz and Bruce. I do like, as much as the flaws as the no-kill system is for Batman, I do like the ideas like, we shouldn't decide for ourselves if a person should be killed or not. There should be some kind of trial, a jury, more than one voice saying that a man should die or not. Because just because we think a person should die, maybe someone else thinks otherwise, and there should be a debate on the fate of the person who chooses to to kill or steal or break the law.
Yeah.
Like, what if they're justified? What if the person they killed was a very horrible human being? Can a person be redeemed? Do people deserve a second chance?
Yeah.
And in Batman's eyes, yes, these people should be given a second chance. That's why we have trials and stuff.
And keep in mind, Batman spent years training here, and then over the course of 8 years, he loses everything that made him Batman physically, and yet somehow, after a couple days, he's just back to it.
Believe it or not, that's actually something the comics did more realistically. When Bane originally broke Batman's back, Batman was out for months, maybe years, and he had to get another guy to fill in as Batman for him while he recovered. You know, like he was out for a while, but this was like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna kick you in the back.
It's not just healing. It's that he got his strength back, and that he's somehow stronger than him.
By just doing a bunch of push-ups in prison.
Yeah, because he just did some push-ups. Yeah, it's like that's not how it works. But anyways. And their motives make sense, too, because it's just like, Bruce wants to go back and get rid of the criminals because, you know, Gotham is his home, but they think it's beyond saving, so just destroy it.
Wipe the slate clean and start again.
Yeah.
But who's to say what will come after will be better than what came before?
And that's what sucks so much about the third one. It's like, the villains, they're just literally the same motive as they were for this one. It's just like, I mean, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with that if they did some kind of a twist on it, but they don't.
What do you mean they did do a twist? You Talia al Ghul. God, that was stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't kill that man, Gravity did.
Well, he didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard so many people say, but Batman... Okay, this really pisses me off. Like, the Ben Affleck Batman sucks because they completely throw out his no-killing rule just out the window. They completely got rid of his moral dilemma as Batman. They call people like me hypocrites because, like, well, he kills people in the Dark Knight Trilogy. You don't have a problem with that. It's like, he doesn't actually. So
I mean, he does kill Two-Face, but he was very distraught about it, and like there were consequences for it. You know.
Well, not only that, but like the thing is, it's like the one that I've heard most. I haven't even. I mean, yeah, people use Two-Face, but that's like the only person that he kills.
And that was an extremely circumstantial situation.
But also, it's like, I've heard people say he kills Ra's al Ghul. No, he doesn't. Just leaving him on the train that Ra's started in the first place.
Yeah.
Is not killing him. I
mean, like, Ra's is a
It was Raz's device, and Raz was the one who started this train in the first place.
Yeah, this was his plan.
Just simply stop. Yeah, this was his own plan. Simply stalling and making it so that his device doesn't make it into the water supply is not killing him.
Yeah, I mean, like, Raz is a master assassin. Like, he trained Batman. You're telling me this guy couldn't have found some way to save his life? Or maybe, like, find a way to stop the train before, like, killed him?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like, he literally says it. It's like, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Yeah. I will let you, I will let you die. But in all fairness, Batman didn't know for sure he was going to die. Ra's had I'm sure Ra's...
Yeah, he didn't know for certain.
At least in theory, Ra's had a chance to save his own life, but he didn't.
But he let himself die.
Right.
Yeah. Which is part... we'll get to it, but that's part of the reason why the villain in Dark Knight Rises makes no fucking sense.
Right. I mean, it's funny you mentioned it. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and we were having you know that, like, I forget the guy who came up with the theory, but, like, the trolley situation where if an out-of-control trolley was going down the tracks, and it could go two ways. One, it could run into one person or run into a group of people. A guy was talking about what would Batman pick, and yes, Batman would pick the one person, but he also would try to save that one person.
Yeah.
Or if he somehow couldn't find a third option to save everyone, Batman would throw himself into the wheels to try and jam the trolley to give the other guy a chance to escape. You know, it's like, sure, Batman can't have actions that may lead to someone's death, but he's not a killer.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. When Batman killed Harvey Dent, he did kill him, but he wasn't trying to. He was trying to save the kid.
No.
And at the same time, he was trying to save Harvey as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure when he was knocking him over, he assumed he would be that both of them would have grabbed on, but Harvey didn't.
Yeah, and also they fell off like a 2-story fall. That would kill anyone.
And not to mention, he literally leaves and says, I'm going to stop being Batman after he does it, when he broke his own rule.
Yeah, no, he takes the rap for Harvey's murder so they can protect his name.
Yeah. Well, no, not to protect his name.
No, to protect Harvey's name.
To protect Harvey's name, yeah. Batman sacrifices his own reputation for that, because he cares more about his city and the souls of everyone there, because everyone loved Harvey Dent. So if that got out, that would have broken
it would ruin everything they've sacrificed for.
Yeah. So, yeah, that whole... I feel like what he did with Harvey, that is not the same as what they do with Ben Affleck in the Batman movies. That's not the same at all.
I'm going to have to edit out all those sounds they're picking up on the mic. God damn it. Stop moving upstairs, damn it. Okay, there's one little continuity error I've noticed. Alfred never ages in these films.
Yeah, he does.
He looks the same throughout all the movies.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
The actor ages.
Yeah, I mean, the actor ages, but, like, overall, though, he looks around the same age throughout the time. Like, even after a time skip, he looks the same. You get what I'm meaning?
Okay, well, my grandparents have looked the same since I was a little kid. So, it's not like he's not aging.
It's a nitpick, but I'm just saying that, after like 10 or so years, At least
I'm saying that's literally what the actor has looked like. So, he's aging.
Sure, but Alfred would look younger when Bruce is a kid to where Bruce is now, don't you think? Like, at least, dye his hair a little bit during the flashback scene.
It was more, blondish.
You sure? His hair looked pretty white throughout.
It looks white now.
I thought it looked white even in the flashbacks. Just a nitpick. I'm just trying to talk about the actual movie because we keep slipping to talking about the Dark Knight.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, in the flashback maybe. But after this movie, I would say,
No, he looks fine. The actor looks good throughout the film. What's his name? The guy who plays Alfred?
Michael Caine.
I like Michael Caine. He looks good. I'm just, if I could nitpick something at this point in the film, it would be that. Because everything else has been pretty good. And goddamn, are those bats CG or are those real bats?
I don't know.
Because I'm about to say, if that was CG, that's really good CG for 2000?
For 2005, yeah. I actually don't know.
I think it's just Falcone, not Falcone, but whatever. Is Lucius Fox in this movie?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you want to like talk briefly about the effects of the Dark Knight movie and it has on Batman's mythos overall, Lucius Fox was a character before this movie, but he's a much more popular character because of this movie and who plays him. Like if the Batman animated series made Harley Quinn popular within the Batman mythos, this trilogy made Lucius Fox a more popular character in the Dark Knight mythos.
Yeah, kinda.
No, not kinda. Definitely. Lucius was a very obscure Batman character in the comics before this. Now, with the exception of Joker, who would your favorite Batman villain be?
In the trilogy or just overall?
Overall.
I guess maybe Penguin?
Penguin?
Maybe, yeah.
Going for the mob boss?
Or, I don't know, does Red Hood count?
Yeah, you can count Red Hood.
Okay.
He's not a villain anymore, but he was originally. I would count Red Hood.
Yeah, I think probably Red Hood, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, you stole my answer. Well, Red Hood is really interesting because he is, like, arguably Batman's greatest failure.
Yeah.
The Robin he lost, the Robin who is okay with killing and, is willing to go cross the lines that Batman isn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say, Bat Belt in this movie is my favorite Bat Belt. It looks really freaking cool. In fact, I'm going to say that for most of Batman's suits and gadgets for this trilogy. I think they look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that suit looks really cool. I know some people...
and there's Kevlar armor suits that are like that in real life.
Yeah. Well, maybe not that quite. There's a little they flash it up a little bit for the movie, but yes, Kevlar's armor is a real thing in real life. I like how even in this early on, Lucius has at least idea of what Bruce is planning to do, and he's just okay with it.
Yeah. Well, Lucius is the only one. Lucius, Alfred, Rachel. Yeah, those are. Yeah, they're the only ones. They're the only ones who know he's Batman. The whole Robin thing, where he just knows in Dark Knight Rises because he felt it.
Yeah,
that was so dumb.
Yeah, it was.
And it's nice that he tells Gordon at the end. I like that.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Would you say this is your favorite Batman suit?
The one in Dark Knight is my favorite Batman suit.
Okay. Oh yeah, they do change the suit.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm. I know some people are a sucker for the classic spandex, but I am more of a fan of the more armor-ish looking bat suits. Because to me, they're just a little more believable that a person would be trying to fight it in that, as opposed to like a jumpsuit.
Fighting in spandex, like that's...
I mean, it's one thing if you're like Spider-Man and you have like no money and you just do make a costume of what you had. But if you're $1 million Playboy philanthropist, you know, you're gonna upgrade your superhero suit.
Yeah, you're not gonna... Yeah, it'd be one thing if it was Spider-Man, because he's poor.
Right.
But if you're rich like Bruce Wayne, you're not gonna keep your spandex suit just because.
Honey, where's my super suit? Do you know what city they filmed this in?
Chicago.
Ah, perfect. The worst city in America. I kid Chicago fans, you know. LA's the worst city in America.
He had a really bad experience.
I had a very bad experience
with Chicago.
Yeah, with my family took a vacation there. That was
Don't tell the whole story.
Not just the brief summary, but my family are big Royals fans. That this is during either the year or year before they won the World Series, but they were getting really good, and the tickets for the Chicago game were really cheap. So we were driving over there, and like everything that could have gone wrong in that trip went wrong. So I'm sorry, Chicago fans. I'll take your word for it, but I do not like Chicago.
And I just love their dynamic.
Jim Gordon and Batman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've always loved their character chemistry. I like how he's not immediately using the bat suit yet. I always love it when superhero movies show the evolution of the costume. Because usually, if done well, that reflects the development of the character. Yeah. Like in Raimi Spider-Man 1, Peter's like crappy spray paint suit, which I love. We used during the wrestling scene compared to his main suit.
We'll get to Spider-Man eventually.
We'll get to it eventually. I do love the first two Raimi movies.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man 3, well, we'll save that for another time. But I do like how Batman, Bruce doesn't go for the bat look immediately. You still have to build up towards that.
Yeah, I miss that time when heroes had to make their suits.
Yeah. Like
this movie, the first Iron Man, the first Raimi Spider-Man movie. Spider-Verse was like the first time that happened in a long time. And I love the leap. Oh god, we'll get to it eventually, but the leap of faith is one of the best scenes in comic book history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, before Spider-Verse, the last time... Oh, there's the Bat Tank. The last time I saw a superhero movie that focused on the development of the costume was, ironically, Amazing Spider-Man 1. But that was like the last
Before
time.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, before Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Damn, that tank works pretty well for a prototype. Yeah. Have you played the Batman Arkham Knight at all, Grant?
I've played all three of them.
Okay.
Actually.
Alright. Man. I'm not sure about the other two, but like Arkham Knight specifically took heavy influence from Dark Knight in terms of like the gadget and vehicle design.
Yeah.
Not one for one, but heavy heavy usage from this movie, this trilogy. I do like that line. Does it come in black?
Does it come in black?
That was like one of the. I remember because that was one of the. I remember that specifically from the promotional material. That was like in every ad for this movie. Does it come in black?
Yeah.
Because black is the best color for a car. And if your opinion is different, your opinion is wrong.
He's like, it's not done until it can't be broken with a sledgehammer.
Right.
And, I mean, that's smart.
Yeah, If you're gonna be a gadget-based superhero, put effort into your gear.
Yeah.
Now, not only make sure it works, make sure it's durable.
And, yeah, the fact that he's like a multi-billionaire, of course he's gonna, do this,
Right. I mean, I do. Obviously, he's using a lot of expensive equipment, but starting out, he's still making a lot of this stuff on his own. Just a guy in his cave with a bunch of tools,
Yeah.
Like, not very different from how, like, my dad would work on car parts in the garage.
Yeah.
It is kind of tiring in a lot of, like, modern Batman stories where a lot of gear is just stuff that, like, he just, like, bought for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I do miss the days where Batman made his own shit and didn't just buy technology from his company. And this is the very first scene with the Batsuit, right?
I think so. Yeah, it is, actually. Yeah.
Now that's just fucked up, hiding drugs inside teddy bears. I don't think even Heisenberg would go that far. That dude's gone. He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. I just realized something. You know what Netflix series opening scene took a lot of heavy emphasis from this scene from?
Which one?
Daredevil. The first scene of episode 1 of Daredevil took very heavy inspiration from this scene in particular.
Yeah.
With all of the
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty horrifying. That dude kind of looks like Loki, don't you think?
Not really.
It's probably just the hair.
I love this. This is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. Where are you? I'm right here. Yeah, I do that to my friends all the time and not on purpose. It's like, where are you? I'm right here. Ah!
Where are you?
No, this is a very good opening scene for this trilogy's Batman.
Yeah. I will say the one other thing I can critique about this movie is that the action, it's not very good. It's definitely the Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan definitely improved on filming action scenes with that truck chase alone.
Yeah, you can tell they're hiding a lot of the action because there's a lot of close-ups and quick cuts. You know?
I think this one probably had a lower budget too.
Yeah, that's also part of it. But I do like how in this scene in particular they are... Oh, look, it's the hobo from before.
I know.
That's a... That's a coincidence. I forgot about that.
I like that, though, because it's like... It's a nice payoff, you know?
Yeah. Hell of a coincidence, but yeah, nice payoff.
It is a coincidence, I'll give you that, but...
It's relatively minor and it doesn't affect the plot, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, I do like, even though the action is a bit rough, I do like how that team specifically focused on like the stealth aspect of Batman's abilities. Not so much that he's like really good at punching people. Could you knock that off, please? And he's gone.
I'm gone.
I hate when he does that.
Yeah. I mean, that did kind of start a trope, but I like it when he does that.
I do like that little scene in Dark Knight Rises where Catwoman does that to him. He's like, oh, so that's what it feels like.
So that's what that feels like.
That was a nice little...
That was a nice little scene.
Yeah, no, Dark Knight Rises isn't an irredeemable movie, but it does have its problems.
It's got a lot of problems, yeah.
Well, that's one way to set up the bat signal.
That is a pretty cool way, actually.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool shot with him on the edge there.
There's lots of great shots in this trilogy.
It's kind of hard not to have good shots with the character design like Batman because he's so striking.
Yeah. Well, also this Christopher Nolan, he's just a really good director.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the saying where you tell you've made a good character design when you can tell the character just from a silhouette. Well, half the time Batman's nothing but silhouette, so...
Yeah. It's like his look and his symbol is like universal. Like you can just tell, and you know it's him just from.
There's a reason he's the most popular DC character.
Yeah. Sorry, Superman. Batman's more popular.
Batman sells more merch. Sorry.
Yeah.
And also, it's just kind of hard to write Superman compared to Batman, I would argue. It can be done. The animated movies are really good at writing Superman, but not the Snyder Trilogy.
Especially Justice League Unlimited. That show is so
Justice
good.
League Unlimited is my standard for everything else DC character related. That movie, not just Superman, all the members of all the superheroes were very well written. And
I think that's the best rendition of Superman.
Yes, the best one, at least in the long run. I haven't seen like the original 1980s Superman movie.
I have. It's really basic.
Okay. Well, yeah, but it was, it
was revolutionary for the time, but looking back on it, it's a really basic telling of the Superman story.
Right, but Superman himself is the first superhero, so he himself is very basic. So I don't know, maybe it's fitting in that way.
Yeah, I guess.
I've always thought
there have been so much better stories with Superman since then,
Also a lot worse stories.
That is true, but still.
We must save Martha!
Don't even get me started.
How do you know her name?
Let's not get into that. Dear God.
I still haven't actually seen that movie. For good reason. It's an arc reactor. Yeah, I forget how much practical effects went into this movie.
Yeah, and it's really cool how they actually stole this from Wayne Enterprises.
Well, I also how like the whatever the thing is called is a practical effect. Like it looks like a piece of machinery.
That's what I love about Christopher Nolan is that he will, whenever he has the opportunity to use a practical effect over a computer generated one, he'll take it.
Right.
He'll always take practical effects over computer-generated ones.
Right. And I don't know
which is something I admire about him.
I don't know about you, Grant, but I'm not against CGI in movies, but in my opinion, CG should be a complement to the practical effects, not a replacement.
It's just overused.
And we love the MCU, but you gotta admit, way too much CG.
There's way too much CG in the MCU movies.
And even though it looks really good now, I am horribly worried that it's going to look outdated in only a couple of years.
Yeah. And there's already too much CG in every single Star Wars movie except for the OT.
Right.
So. Yeah. I like how he still presents himself as this playboy asshole, because, that's the costume.
Right, Bruce Wayne is the costume, Batman's who he really is.
Yeah.
Kind of like the opposite of Tony Stark, because even though Tony is a better person, he's still a $1 million playboy philanthropist.
Yes.
That aspect is just lessened.
And that's another thing I like about Superman, because he's the opposite. Superman is the symbol he presents himself as for people, but he's really Clark Kent.
Yeah.
That's what I really
At the end of the day, he's still the Boy Scout from Kansas who just wants to do the right thing.
Yeah. And he wants to be there for his family.
Yeah, despite his powers, he does not see him as any higher or lower than any other human being.
He doesn't see himself as better, and he doesn't want to be among gods. He wants to be with the people.
Yeah, because that's who he cares about.
Yeah. That's what... I feel like that is something that all the Superman movies have missed, basically, except for Justice League Unlimited.
Right. Well, that's not a movie, but I see your point, yeah.
Yeah. Especially Man of Steel. Zack Snyder missed the point of his character completely.
Zack Snyder really wants to be like the subversive dark superhero director. I do really like that line. Mm-hmm. It's not who I am, but what I do that defines me. That's just a good life lesson in general.
Yeah.
And then it can be applied to
and I love how she doesn't know. It's like he has to do these things that make him look like an asshole because that is who he's expected to be.
Right.
Because he can't make anyone suspicious of who he really is.
Right. It's what he made a case for himself where the facade is more believable than the truth.
Yeah. Well, also because he doesn't want anyone to suspect that he's actually Batman,
right?
As well, so.
Yeah, I didn't know this guy was a Falcone before. I didn't know Falcone was a part of the Batman universe before this. I do like Scarecrow in this movie.
Yeah.
The way he's presented.
There is still a bit of campiness in this one.
Yeah, but it's fine. I like the campy is handled very well in this trilogy.
Yeah. Not in Dark Knight though. Dark
Yeah,
Knight
there's
have,
no camp.
Yeah, I was like, Dark Knight doesn't
In fact,
have
we call it a trilogy. Dark Knight is pretty much completely separated from the rest of the trilogy.
Well, yeah, because that's the only one in the trilogy that I could say is like a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's like we like this movie, but you do not need to see it to watch Dark Knight at all.
No, not at all.
It stands on its own.
That's why it's so universally great.
Mm-hmm. And I know some people are asking, why doesn't Batman just stand like a normal person? Well, he's trying to make himself look creepier by constantly standing in weird positions. Yeah. And he's always above the person too. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
He's always higher elevation. Now I do think at least
it's so Anakin. I have the high ground.
Yeah, basically it's a psychological factor, an intimidation factor. Though I do wish he stopped using it with Gordon so much in the later movies. It's like once they build trust with each other, you can stop with the whole disappearing act. You know, I get that you're Batman, but you don't need to do. But you don't need to touch Gordon.
I think it's pretty funny though how he's just like he does that.
Yeah, I do like the gag.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Swear to me. See, I like that. I think
I love the memes that have come from this scene.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
I don't get why people make fun of it.
I mean, you can make fun of things you like.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true, but
not every joke is told because people hate something. I've
heard so many people complain about Batman's voice, though.
I do too. I think Christian Bale's Batman voice is fine. It's not my favorite Batman voice, but it works.
No. Yeah, I think it's just fine.
But at the same time, I do enjoy some of the parodies people have done of it.
I'm just really glad they recast Katie Holmes because she's not very good in this movie.
I mean, I'm not familiar with other stuff the actress has done.
Well, just in this movie, I'm not sure about what else she's done either.
God, this set looks really freaking cool.
I know, right?
It's starting to look more like Japan more than anything else. Like, you know what this specific scene reminds me of?
What?
The where the family lives in Parasite. Like really cramped, run down, a bunch of wires everywhere.
Yeah. We're doing that movie at some point as
well. We bet your ass we are. I love that movie.
That's quick. That's like, honestly, I love The Lighthouse, but that's probably my favorite movie of last year. That's probably like my top 5 favorite movies ever. Mm-hmm. Also, that's Joffrey Baratheon.
Really?
Yep, that kid is Joffrey Baratheon. Yep.
Okay, I think I see the hair now. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I like how you can just see Batman in the corner of that shot.
Yeah.
Bats, don't knock out the guy when he's taking a piss. That's low, man.
Did you just call him Bats?
Yeah.
You the Joker now?
Well, we've established before that I'm not, that I'm pure evil. I have been told by complete strangers that I have no soul, so... I do have, like, with Scarecrow's mask, like, the stuff, like, it's how they alter the effects on it based on who's under the influence of the fear toxin. Like, right there we saw bats coming out of it because Batman. There was earlier something, we saw, like, maggots coming out or something like that, you know?
That's how you put out a fire if you're ever low on fire. You tuck and roll.
Stop, drop, roll, and be Batman.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll.
And be Batman.
Yeah. I will say, it is pretty lucky that it was raining.
Yeah. Alfred, bring the bad fire extinguisher.
Yeah, Alfred, help me.
Bring the bad fire repellent.
I like that line too.
Mm-hmm.
The why do we fall?
Yeah.
My dad used that line on me all the time when I was a kid.
Really?
Whenever I failed at something or did bad on a test and I got really upset, he would say that.
Why do we...
I don't know. My dad is weird.
That's better than what my dad did when I had a bad test. He would, like, shout and scream and shit.
That sucks.
And, you know. We can't have perfect parents.
No, but he might gas other people. It is pretty satisfying when he uses the gas on him later, though.
Yeah.
That is pretty satisfying.
Perfect irony.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. If you're hearing a lot of weird things picking up on the mic, I'm currently in my basement and my folks are stomping around upstairs and it's picking up on my computer. I will try to edit it to minimize its effects, but I am worried of how that's going to sound.
That is a pretty nice payoff, too.
The arrowhead?
Yeah. From the beginning.
Maybe I should be Green Arrow instead.
She knows she was bullshitting the whole time and that he was actually the one who found it.
Uh-huh.
And yes, that is possible. Like, I've heard, like, a ton of people be like, that secret door thing is stupid. It's like, no, secret doors, that's a real thing.
Oh no, there are actually like old ancient mansions of people who have that sort of things in case. Like,
well, also if you're super rich like he is, it's not impossible.
and you're telling me that nowadays people, like, if you had a bunch of money, and if you're going to own a mountain, wouldn't you install a secret base just for the sake of having a secret base?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people spend money just to do things that they think are cool. You know? I mean, you're telling me, like, back in, like, the 1800s, if you're, like, a wealthy landowner, you wouldn't have a secret getaway in the back of your mansion just in case the angry mob is not marching on your door because everyone's fucking starving and you've hoarded all the food. Yeah. It's like, ooh, I need to sneak out through my secret exit. Yeah, good luck for that.
Didn't you get the memo?
Here's the memo, bitch. I work for Batman. Now, I do like to think... Now, some of you may be wondering, well, if Falcone went nuts from the gas, why did Bruce turn out okay? I think it has partly to do with his training under the League of Shadows. Because remember, he was exposed to that earlier in the film for like his initiation, and he had to like work through it.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's at least presumed that he has trained his mind against at least that specific toxin. So even in larger doses, Batman can like survive it, while someone like Falcone can't.
Yeah.
So
normal people who haven't actually trained with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rachel can't get over it without Batman actually giving her the antidote that Lucius made.
Yeah. Did he actually put the calm in his bat ear?
Yeah. They showed that earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Did they not close the door?
Did they not close the door? I'll check real quick. Keep commentating.
Yeah.
Door is now shut. I apologize for the random dog barkings. I hope I don't have to. I'm worried about the editing.
He's just like, Rachel, would you like to see my mask?
Do you know how I got these scars?
You want to know my secret identity? I love that joke with Batman and the how it should have ended videos.
Stop barking.
When he shoots the gas like that, he's just like, it's Britney, bitch. She's terrified of worms?
I mean, hey man, worms can be pretty creepy, especially when they're crawling out of a dude's face.
Can I also say I love Cillian Murphy? He's a really good actor.
Is he,
He's Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other stuff has he been in?
He's been in quite a bit of Christopher Nolan movies.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Dunkirk. He's in Inception, which
I still need to see.
That might be his best performance. I don't know.
Okay.
He was also in 28 Days Later. I'm sure there's quite a few others that I'm forgetting right now, but
Wait, how the hell did he do that? Batman just freaking fly in the air? I mean, maybe he used his grappling hook, but I couldn't quite tell during that shot. Yeah. In this movie especially, the choreography is a little rough. Okay, this is really cool. I do like the demon Batman hallucination that Scarecrow is going to. Even as a kid, I thought that was really awesome. What do you think, Grant? I think out of all the Scarecrow hallucinations, the demon Batman is my favorite.
It is really cool, yeah. Excuse me.
Batman blesses you. Now, can we just say, like, obviously we know Batman's a good person, but the best person in Gotham is Jim Gordon.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
He's like the actual, like, clean cop and is in the most fucked up city in the DC universe.
Yeah.
He's like the one guy who's not like fucked up in the head.
A terrible, like, corrupt cop, yeah.
Yeah, because even though Batman's a hero, he still has his issues. And then you get no sane person dresses up as a bat to fight crime.
Yeah.
Like Jim Gordon's like the actual good man in the city.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised at how little they focus on Jim's character in this film. Considering how much...
well as in Dark Knight, they focus on his character quite a bit.
No, I'm surprised how little they focus in this movie because of how much they focus on Jim in The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, they focus on him quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that because this is the intro movie, they don't. They gave them a lot more room to focus on the side characters in Dark Knight, which I think turned out for the best.
I think that is good because well, a lot of people say they don't do much with Bruce Wayne as a character, and I disagree. I think the ending is a significant character arc.
No, they do. They still do a lot with Bruce. They just don't focus him solely throughout the film the same way they do here.
Yeah, he's not the sole focus.
Yeah, they allowed themselves to give more time to the side characters, and I think that's another one of the reasons why Dark Knight is so good.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of.
I do like how well they use the bats in this movie. They all like the swarm scenes.
Yeah, because I think they have. There's a lot of great character work for Bruce in The Dark Knight, and I think Nolan. Yeah, he didn't want to make the third one unless he could have Heath Ledger because after that, I feel like he lost the passion and didn't really want to make another one anymore because he's just like, well, I can't do my original vision, and how am I supposed to top The Dark Knight?
Because that final line with Joker is like, we're destined to do this forever, is kind of ruined by the fact that he's not in the third movie because Heath Ledger passed away.
Yeah.
So
well, I think The Dark Knight, in my opinion, is, I know it's not a very it's a pretty uncontroversial opinion that The Dark Knight is my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
Really? Favorite Christopher Nolan movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too familiar with his work, but I would have assumed he made better stuff than this.
No, I think The Dark Knight is his best one.
Okay.
And I think The Prestige is pretty close. The Prestige is pretty close to being his best, I think. But I think, in my opinion, I think the only ones he's made that have come close to Dark Knight are Memento and The Prestige. Like, I don't think Inception is as good.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure that's going to piss a lot of people off.
I know. I'm sorry, but
don't be.
I love Inception. Don't get me wrong, and I'd say it's a. Yeah, I'd probably say it's still like a 5, but still.
Honestly, I think that would speak more to how good Nolan is as a director.
Yeah.
For all the good.
By the way, when I say 5, I don't mean out of 10. I mean out of 5.
Yeah, 5 out of 5.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I do like that little bit of visual humor where it's at compact and the Batmobile just goes straight through those other cars.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, even Dark Knight, which has much less of it, but these movies still have like some levity to them.
Every movie needs levity. You know? A movie can't be super dark 100% of the time. Not to say that these movies are, but there has to be a little bit of light, to keep the audience from getting exhausted.
I have a friend on Discord who actually hates The Dark Knight, as well as just this movie. I think he doesn't really like Christopher Nolan in general.
Well, that's his problem. That's not my problem.
I know. And I'm sorry, I know this is a hot take, but to all you film buffs out there who love Nolan, not Inception, Interstellar is one of the most overrated movies of all time, and I'm sorry, I don't think it's very good. I know that is going to piss a lot of people off.
I haven't seen a lot of Nolan movies outside of the Dark Knight Trilogy, so I can't comment either way.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not a true movie fan.
No, you are.
Whatever.
You are. But Dark Knight Rises is his worst movie, though. I don't think that's a very unpopular opinion. I think
it is the weakest of the 3, that's for sure.
Well, not only do I think most people agree that it's the weakest of the 3, but I think most people agree it's probably his worst movie.
Yeah. He still tried, though. I still think he tried, but I do agree with you that...
You could tell he didn't really want to make it.
And all I know is, man, if I were in his shoes and if I lost an actor like Heath Ledger, I'd be pretty bummed, too. I don't think I'd have it in me to make another one without him.
You could tell, he didn't want to make another one without Heath Ledger.
That's like trying to make another Iron Man movie if Robert Downey Jr. died. Yeah. It's like it wouldn't feel right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He pulled the initial D trick. I can't believe they did that. I wonder actually how they built the Batmobile prop, because that's obviously like a real vehicle.
The Bat Tank is real.
I'm really curious to see how they built it for filming. This is
Rachel!
Oh, the Batmobile going in and out of the waterfall. That is classic Batman.
Yeah. Rachel! Rachel!
Rachel!
Probably shouldn't make fun of that, because that's a pretty tragic scene.
I don't care. I'm making fun of it. It's funny.
I think the way he says Rachel is actually really like holy shit. You know,
it's the problem I have serious. Watching Spider-Man 2. The internet has memed certain parts of it so far that I can't help but laugh whenever it pops up. And all you Spider-Man 2 fans, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm talking about The Dark Knight. I think most people agree the way he screams Rachel is like really like holy shit, this is serious, you know?
No. Christian Bale is a good actor. It's just
no, not Christian Bale. Harvey in Dark Knight.
Oh, that! Oh, yeah. That's the scene you were talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is very tragic.
Yeah.
No. I think when people meme that, I think they're memeing when Batman screams it. I don't think it's.
When Batman screamed it, it was a little funny, but yeah.
At least it wasn't Martha.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, we can't even. Zack Snyder could go fuck himself. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder fans, but I don't care about the Snyder Cut or anything that he has to say.
I mean, if you say it's better, I'll believe you, but better doesn't mean good.
Yeah.
You know, terms like better or worse are, relative.
I like that too. What Alfred's saying to him.
You can't be personal, you're just a vigilante.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem because pretty much everything Batman does is personal. That's why he's Batman. It's personal to him.
I think that's part of his arc in this movie is that in Dark Knight I don't think it is as much personal vendettas. I think by the end of this movie, he's moved beyond his whole personal thing against the mob, and instead, in Dark Knight, he's only going after what's absolutely necessary.
Right.
You know.
Right, and that's because he gets closure from this film, so he doesn't need to.
Right.
He doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Alfred has to.
Alfred has to deal with Bruce's shit.
Yeah.
I forgot this scene. No, let's be honest. Batman is cool, but Alfred is badass. I would pick a fight with Batman before I would pick a fight with Alfred. Because here's the thing: even though Alfred believes in Bruce's crusade, Alfred is not afraid to fucking kill your ass if you mess with him.
Yeah.
I think in one time, like Alfred was like a former a British spy or something like that. But in the Injustice comics, there's actually a scene where Alfred punches out Superman. You don't fuck with Alfred, okay? You just don't.
Yeah.
Alfred's a badass. He'll take your name and not give a shit.
Yeah.
And still having time to make afternoon tea.
Afternoon tea.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's Raish! Oh, he's wearing the flower on his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed that.
Yep, and that was his replacement.
Yep. Yeah, I like how he was a Ross the entire time.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing how the villain of the movie, like the real villain, has been absent for quite a while.
Yeah. He's been behind the scenes, but it's also consequence for Bruce saving his life during his escape for League of Shadows. You saved my life. What do you think I was going to do? Be grateful that you let me live while you destroyed the organization I pledged my life to? You didn't think I wanted revenge on Gotham beforehand?
And this is really, he seems like a huge dick here, but this is the right thing to do.
He's kicking all of them out, so they won't be in danger when Ross makes his move. Because why else would Ross be here?
Yeah.
And I know he's just putting on a show, but in reality, how many people are actually Bruce's friends, how many here are just here for, business reasons?
Yeah.
Like the Great Gatsby kind of sort of thing.
And there's a couple of them here that appear in later movies, and, it's like...
They're not really Bruce's friends or anything like that.
Yeah, but I feel like he might have explained to them why he did that, though. There must have been some story. Because, obviously he's still an incredibly liked person in the sequels. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't like Bruce Wayne?
Well, I'm sure he came up with a story for why he did that.
Yeah.
Because obviously he can't say who he is. But.
I mean, given what happens in this movie and happens in 5 minutes, he was probably afraid to he was going to be under attack and he wanted them to the half truth, right?
Yeah, the half truth.
Not the Batman stuff. It's hey, these
people were here and they threatened to kill everyone.
Because they do blow up the mansion in this film, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, to me, as a kid, that was one of the most memorable scenes, them blowing up Wayne Manor. I don't know, that scene's always just kind of stuck with me.
Because it shows no one's safe in these movies.
No, I think I really like the line when Alfred's dragging him in the elevator and he's I get the line specifically, it'll be here in a minute, but everything my father built is gone or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a moment of reflection of Bruce questioning if his crusade is truly just.
Yeah.
Or did he take it too far?
Yeah, that's why he learns to, one, not take it too far, but two, don't make it personal and only go after them when it's absolutely necessary. You shouldn't be going after the mob because of personal vendettas or personal reasons. You should be going after them when they're...
Well, presumably you shouldn't be going after the mob unless you're a member of law enforcement. We're not trying to tell you all to, start a vigilante ring or something like that.
Well,
but in terms of fiction...
In terms of this character, he learns he should only be going after them when they're actually causing... problems.
It's the Jedi detachment thing, but how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And Joker is such a compelling villain because he forces Batman to ride the edge between hero and villain.
Yeah. And do you know what's really interesting about Joker and Dark Knight as opposed to other villains in just stories in general? We don't really get closure. He just kind of disappears from the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably, the police arrest him, but we don't get like a final word from him.
Yeah, because that last scene with him, that's all we needed.
Yeah.
We didn't need anything more. He fulfilled his purpose in the story.
Right, and it's just interesting that, because I rewatched Dark Knight not too long ago, and I realized, hey, they never really did like closer for Joker's character.
Well, in a way, they kind of did. I think the last line of his is perfect because,
Oh yeah, no, it's
madness is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
And I like how Joker's hanging upside down, but they reverse the shot so it looks like he's floating up, like he's in reality he's above Batman now because he made everything upside down.
Yeah.
No, it's a good final scene for his character. I'm just saying in general, there's not a closure of a shot of him in prison or something.
Yeah,
like
of them arresting him.
Yeah, and I'm glad they don't show that.
Yeah, because it's not needed. You don't need to do it. See, he's even got cops on his payroll.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's one of the reasons Gotham is so bad because the cops are so corrupt. Jim's the only good cop in the entire goddamn city until Batman goes and corrects things. Yeah, see, you don't fuck with Alfred.
Yeah. He will not hesitate to kill your ass.
Yeah. He respects Batman's code of not killing, but he himself never took such an oath. If you fuck with him or his loved ones, he will kick your ass.
Yeah. Alfred might be old, but he's not gonna let any of his loved ones get killed.
Man, I really forget how much practical effects went into this movie. There's still bits of CG here and there, but overall, there's a lot of practical shit. I can't carry the ring for you, but I can carry you! Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Alfred is Bruce's Samwise.
Yeah.
He may not be the hero, but he's the one that picks the hero up.
Yeah. I think Sam is the hero, honestly.
Yeah.
He kind of is.
Sam is easily... Well, okay, maybe not easily, but he is he's one of the most badass hobbits in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Also, Rachel's a badass.
It's interesting because I think Rachel is a character unique to the trilogy. I can't think of any Batman character named Rachel from the comics.
There wasn't a Rachel?
I don't think so, no. Comic fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of it off the top of my head because obviously she's Bruce's love interest in the movie, but usually in the comics the love interest is Catwoman, Talia al Ghul, depending on the timeline or whatever, but I can't think of a Rachel, no.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
Oh, I just love the separation between the rich and the poor. That was a pretty good shot. Shit, I just realized that. I talked earlier how much Arkham Knight took influence from this movie. The plot of Arkham Knight is the plot of this movie.
Basically,
yeah. Scarecrow releases a machine that releases all of his fear toxins into the air. Not one for one, but it's like, damn, Arkham Knight took heavy influence from the Dark Knight Trilogy. Yeah. I just didn't realize that they just took the fucking...
Specifically this one.
Yeah, I didn't realize it took the fucking villain plot, too. Shit.
Luckily, they had antidotes.
Yep. Everyone's tripping balls.
God, that's another thing, is that Gordon isn't actually commissioner until Dark Knight.
Yeah. I do like that. That's a nice touch. And holy shit, is that a thankless job. Especially in a city like Gotham. I forgot he just rides a fucking horse. No one to send in my ass. Batman.
How old were you when you first saw The Dark Knight?
I saw it when it came out in theaters, so...
I didn't see it when it came out in theaters, but I was about 8 years old when I watched it for the first time.
So I'd probably be 9 then.
I can't believe I was allowed to watch that movie when I was 8.
Yeah, no, I saw that movie in theaters, and I'll tell you
dark movie.
Yeah, no, I was scared. like Dark Knight scared me more than some horror movies, to be honest, back then.
Yeah, that scene where Joker just stands in the street and says, "Hit me," that scared the shit out of me.
No, what scared me, fire-breathing horse. What scared me is that scene when the two are talking in the...
That's pretty funny.
They're talking in the law office, and Joker drops the dead body in the Batman suit on the window. Like, that scared the piss out of me.
Oh, yeah. Same here. But that part right there where she just shot Scarecrow with her taser, that was a little corny. It's like, that's how he gets defeated. He's just a little punk.
Yeah. Well, Scarecrow's always been.
I mean, he's not really meant to be the.
Yeah, I mean, once you get past, and true, just with Scarecrow in general, he's not one of Batman's better physical opponents. It's like once you get past the fear gas, he is a little bitch.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's screwed.
Yep. I seriously think that scene though, where Joker says, "Go ahead, do it, hit me." That's one of the best scenes in the whole show.
I think that scene's actually kind of funny. Only because Heath Ledger is such a great job. Is that in a fucked up way, Heath Ledger Joker is the levity of that film in a lot of ways. Even though a lot of his things he's doing is fuck up, his performance, the way he presents it is so comical. You kind of feel guilty to laugh. But that's why his performance is so good.
Yeah. Also, I remember...
and there's the line again, and that's when he learns he's Bruce.
Yep. Well, first, I like that, first off, but also, I saw one of the worst film takes of all time a couple days ago. Someone on Twitter
Oh
said...
dear God, that's horrifying. That's where they got the Nightmare Batman at the end of Arkham Knight.
So someone on Twitter said Heath Ledger's Joker is one of the most overrated things ever. And I'm like, bro.
No.
What's your...
Not really.
Not really.
I realize Ross has his COVID-19 mask on.
He kind of does, yeah.
Ra's al Ghul did the coronavirus. I mean, possibly. I mean, I do think that even good things can be overrated or overhyped, but...
But in this case, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, the only competition is Mark Hamill, but that's only really because of, like, how long he's been doing it. No one else can quite do... no one else can ever do what Heath Ledger did for Joker's character. I mean, and also no respect to the guy who did Joker in the 2019 movie. He did a good job, but, nope, there was only one Heath Ledger.
Yeah, also, that's just a thing. People they think they're cool if they were like, this thing was really popular back in the day and literally everyone universally loved it, and then someone just comes out and says, oh, it's actually not that great just because they want to be different.
Yeah.
That
it's like,
happens a lot.
Look, guys, it's fine to have that opinion, but you have to have a reason for that opinion.
Yeah, it's like, don't just have an opinion just because it's cool. It's a cool thing to say something that, people usually don't agree with.
Yeah, it's like we may be heretic theater, but we're not being different for the sake of being different. We have reasons to think the way we do when we agree or disagree on a topic,
Right.
Don't just say, oh, Heath Ledger's a lame Joker. Have a reason for it.
Yeah.
I
think Heath Ledger is... I mean, I love Joaquin Phoenix, but I think Heath Ledger's portrayal is still the best Joker.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In a live-action sense.
Yeah. Well...
no one
can beat Mark Hamill when it comes to animated.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the only real competition with Heath Ledger in my mind is Mark Hamill.
Right. But even then, that's like Mark takes the character in a completely different direction.
Yeah. The animated Joker is very different from in live action.
Yeah.
So.
The Batmobile is pretty freaking cool. It's not my favorite Batmobile, but I do think it's cool. I mean, you can't have a Batmobile that's not cool. It's just against the law. You will be arrested on the spot if you make a Batman movie with a lame Batmobile. I live, bitch.
I really like this fight scene, though.
The subway fight, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the action scenes in this movie could have been shot better, but I do like this one.
Yeah, I do like that Jim gets to drive the Batmobile.
How about this? I like that. Who said anything about stopping it?
No, this scene was really suspenseful when I saw it back in the day.
You didn't see this one in theaters, did you?
I've seen all... no, I saw the first two in theaters. I almost saw Dark Knight Rises in theaters, but I got in trouble for something, and my dad told me change his mind that we weren't going. Because he had to ground me, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I've seen the first two in theaters. I was really young at the time, but...
You didn't go see Dark Knight Rises after that?
No. The one I saw, Dark Knight Rises, I think my dad bought a DVD, and I watched it at home.
said anything about stopping it.
Josh is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes! He's like, oh shit.
Right, I gotta drive away.
See, this is not killing him.
No.
Fucking Talia al Ghul. Yeah, this is... Anyone who actually thinks this is murder doesn't know what murder is.
He's like, what?
Yeah, see, watch this. Yeah. He had time. He could have found some way to get out. I mean,
no, and look, like, it's very much shown in the way it's filmed is that he
he chose to let himself die there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. He could have gotten behind one of the seats, secured himself, and then once the train hit the ground, jump out.
Yeah, I mean, dude's a master assassin. He trained freaking Batman.
Yeah, he trained freaking Batman. He could have gotten
like, I know it's a more grounded movie, but it's still a comic book film. He could have found a way
he could have found a way to get out of there.
Yeah.
So no, Batman does not kill, and the one time he did kill, he
sacrificed.
He not only wasn't an accident, but he sacrificed his own self-image and stopped being Batman because of it.
Right. Can I keep the car?
Can I keep your car, Batman?
No.
This is pretty satisfying.
Your job.
Yours. The dude whose name is on the building?
Yeah. I love every scene with Lucius in these films.
Yeah. Drunken billionaire burns down a home.
Back when people still read newspapers.
Didn't you get the memo?
Nice little good
Yeah.
repeating dialogue there.
Yeah.
About time he closed that damn well.
Yeah.
But it's also symbolic because he's putting the past behind him.
But themes.
I love themes. I love symbolism.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that shit.
Mm-hmm. Although if your story is shit and your defense is, but there's a theme, that's not a defense for it.
No. Every story has a theme.
Characters,
every story is good.
Yeah, it's like symbolism and themes are not enough to make something good. You still have to have well-written characters and a good story and a good script. This is kind of corny, if I'm being honest. It's
the good guy kisses the girl at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of corny. It's just like, it feels forced.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. They didn't really build up their romance, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a relationship, but it doesn't feel romantic.
No. That's why in The Dark Knight, it feels... It's not really because it's a romance, it's because they're just really good friends.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think in Dark Knight, I don't think they're trying to make it like a love triangle or a romantic couple or anything.
No, I mean, and even though Bruce is interested, they make pretty clear that Rachel is not romantically involved with Bruce, not anymore.
Even though in Dark Knight, even though she said that once you're done with Batman, we can be together, she clearly is not interested anymore.
Yeah, like even before we get the note where she says, I'm choosing Harvey, it's just like, You can tell from the acting that he's just not interested in Bruce in that way.
Yeah. I think Dark Knight handled it much better because it's just like, this whole... In Batman Begins, they haven't really built their romance, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing he decided to kind of drop it.
Mm-hmm. Must be the fear toxin.
I really like this ending too. I love how it sets up the sequel.
Yeah. Like, even as a kid, I know, ooh, Joker's gonna be next.
Yeah.
Nice. You're right, they do mention the naked everyone.
Yeah.
Riddler. Nah, I'm kidding, it's Joker. And you'll never have to.
He's not in it for the glory.
Nope. Alright, that was Batman Begins. You want to give your thoughts first, Grant?
Yeah, I still think it holds up. I think it's way better than it's given credit for. I think I have some criticisms, but I think it's a really solid 9 out of 10, though.
Yeah.
What about you?
So, rewatching the movie, there are a lot of... I was so pleasantly surprised at a lot of things. I was pleasantly surprised at how much practical effects was in this movie. I was a little shocked to see that, at least in terms of like art direction, there's still a little bit of Tim Burton's like fingerprinting in terms of what it looks in a good way.
Yeah.
Because like in Dark Knight, it's just I would say that it's gone. It's gone.
Oh
purely,
yeah,
it's by Dark Knight. It's
Nolan.
gone pure Nolan. Yeah.
Pure Nolan.
The acting is still really good. I know you mentioned you weren't a fan of the actress who played Rachel in this film.
Yeah, I'm not.
I still think she was fine. There was no standout bad acting. The music's really good. No shit.
I mean, I think the acting in The Dark Knight, I think, is excellent.
Yeah.
I think the acting in this movie is fine. I think
it's just one of those cases
Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Liam Neeson are good. Cillian Murphy's good, but there wasn't anything in there that felt like a performance stuck out.
Right.
Whereas in Dark Knight, there were multiple. Like Christian Bale, Aaron Eckhart, Heath Ledger, and Gary Oldman are all excellent.
Right. It's just one of those things where everything in this movie here is good. It's just Dark Knight just does it all better.
Yeah.
And then Rise of Skywalker. Dark Knight Rise of Skywalker. Dark Knight Rises kind of shoots itself in the foot.
Yeah.
What you gotta do.
It really does.
Yeah. And I have to say, Grant, I am very impressed. I think we went this entire commentary without mentioning hockey pads. And I just ruined it.
Well, yeah, you did.
Alright, but yeah. In terms of criticisms, I mean, I really got nothing. Nothing stuck out to me as being...
I had a couple.
Okay.
Did you? You didn't have any?
Not really. Nothing that stood out to me.
Okay, well, like I said, the acting is good for the most part, but nothing really stuck out as an exceptional performance. And yeah, I really do think Katie Holmes was miscast as Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's very good. And I mean, in terms of the writing, there isn't really much of any issues. I mean, there's a couple corny moments. I mean, Scarecrow being scared off by Rachel.
Old Scarecrow riding on a horse.
Yeah, riding on a horse and literally being taken out by Rachel's taser was kind of silly.
The beginning of the movie when Ross is just in the holding cell that Bruce has put in.
Yeah. That was a little iffy. But other than that, I mean...
Yeah, there's some minor stuff. There's still some... There's still a little bit...
the only issues are just really minor.
Yeah, there's still a little bit stuff that's still a bit comic booky. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's there, you know. It hasn't quite scrubbed that off the way that Dark Knight does. But yeah, it's still good. Even if you've already seen Dark Knight, I would still recommend seeing this film. Just because it's still a good Batman film.
Oh yeah,
it's just not the best.
And it's better than most comic book movies out there, I would say.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's saying much.
But... No, it's not. But still, you know, especially for its time. Like this came out in 2005, and the only real amazing comic book movie that was out in 2005, other than this one, was like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
There was also X2, but that's about it.
Which one do you like more, Spider-Man 2 or Batman Begins?
I mean, Spider-Man 2, but I don't see much of a point in comparing them.
Yeah, they're both really good.
Yeah, I think I like Spider-Man 2 a little more, but...
Okay. Spider-Man 1 did this movie?
Oh, I think this movie's much better than the first Raimi Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think first Raimi Spider-Man is good. We'll get to it eventually, but I don't think it's amazing.
Oh, yeah, but we're putting it off because, goddamn it, I do not want to see Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. And I've got a lot to say once we get to Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
So
I'm really curious
because I'll save my thoughts for when we get to
I'm really curious when we do that because that's like this movie. I haven't seen Dark Knight Rises from beginning to end in a long time, so I'm curious to see how my thoughts have changed on that one.
Yeah, and I mean, what can I say about the Dark Knight that hasn't been said already?
Right. Well, if you already say, we're going to be saying it again because the next one we're doing is Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And we're going to have plenty to say on that one.
Yeah. It's probably not anything you haven't heard before, though. Because, I mean...
Watch it anyway, because we need
most people know. Most people know it's a masterpiece. So, you know. Anything else?
Not at the moment, no. If I think of anything else, I'll probably mention it in the next video, but... Yeah, I guess that's it.
Alright, thanks for watching and listening to our conversation, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next time on Heretic Theater.
Yep. Yeah, you want to say our names real quick?
Sure. I'm Grant. You can check me out on YouTube. I have a channel. Just search my name. It's Grant Paulson. And
I'm Robin. Yes, I am both Batman and Robin. I am Dick Grayson.
Well, thank you.
And my parents are dead.
Thank you for sharing your secret identity with us.
All right, no problem. All right, have a good night.